Hi, I'm Dawn from Upside Lane, a website supporting caregivers everywhere. Today, I wanted to show you how to roast pumpkin seeds without oil. Oftentimes, when we go to the grocery store and we buy pumpkin seeds, they're loaded with lots of salt and lots of unhealthy fats. And so it's very easy to make pumpkin seeds on your own, especially this time of year where pumpkins are readily available. So it's super easy, and I'm excited to show you this recipe. Let's get started. So before we get started on the recipe and how to roast pumpkin seeds without oil, I want to tell you 5 tips for selecting the perfect pumpkin when it comes to making sure you have plenty of pumpkin seeds. Number 1 is size. You want to look for a medium to large sized pumpkin. Number 2 is weight. Look for a pumpkin that feels heavy for its size. Usually this means it's ripe and full of seeds. Number 3, look for a pumpkin that is free of bruising or soft spots, and it's really blemish free. Number 4 is it's best to choose a pumpkin that has been freshly harvested, preferably from a local farmer or a farmer's market. And number 5 is look for a pumpkin that has many lines in it. For each line on the outside, there is a corresponding row of seeds on the inside. So the longer a pumpkin grows on the vine, the more lines it grows, and therefore the more seeds. So the first step is you want to carve out a circle. You want to take the stem off of the pumpkin. So I use a sharp knife, and at the top of the pumpkin, I carefully carve a circle around the stem. When you're carving out the circle, I find it's best to do so at an angle about 1.5 to 2 inches away from the stem. Once you've cut that circle, then you pull the stem up and away from the rest of the pumpkin. You want to remove the seeds from that top, and then you just want to cut away the flesh that's sticking to the underside of the stem. Next, you want to start separating the pulp from the seeds. In my experience, the best method for cleaning pumpkin seeds and for removing the pulp from the seeds is by massaging the pulp away from the seeds themselves. Eating a bit of the pulp is not bad for you, but some people get a little grossed out by all of that stringy goop. I find the hardest part is cleaning out the pumpkin guts. I have seen some people use an ice cream scoop to clean out their pumpkins versus a large spoon or a specific tool for cleaning the inside of a pumpkin. Here in this video, I'm using a large metal spoon, which works just fine. But if you want, you can give each method a try and just see which one works best for you. With the large metal spoon, you want to scoop out all the seeds and the pumpkin guts and place everything into a large bowl. Once you've separated the pumpkin seeds from the pumpkin pulp, then we're going to add cool water to the pumpkin seed bowl, and again continue to gently massage the pumpkin pulp away from the seeds themselves. And then you want to place the clean pumpkin seeds into a medium glass bowl. Once you have the pumpkin seeds all clean and in your bowl, you're going to measure out about a 1/4 cup of salt and add it to the bowl with the pumpkin seeds. And then you're going to add cool water to the bowl until the pumpkin seeds are thoroughly covered. For me, this took about 2 to 3 cups of water. And you're going to stir to mix up the salt with the pumpkin seeds. Once that is all done, you're just going to cover the bowl and let the pumpkin seeds sit in the salted water overnight or up to 24 hours. So good morning. It's the following day, and I actually let these pumpkin seeds soak in the water, the salted water, for almost 24 hours. So we are going to proceed with the roasting. I preset my oven to 350 degrees and I let it heat up. And we're just going to move forward. We're going to drain this water, and then we're going to put the pumpkin seeds on the baking sheet. So as I mentioned, once the pumpkin seeds have been soaking overnight and you've drained the water from the pumpkin seeds, once most of the water is removed from the seeds, you want to pour the pumpkin seeds onto a clean kitchen towel, or you can also use paper towel. And then you just want to gently pat the seeds dry, or at least make them as dry as you can. Once the pumpkin seeds are as dry as you can make them, then you want to place the seeds onto a prepared baking sheet in a single layer. Here I am using a silicone baking sheet, but you can also use parchment paper or aluminum foil. And then once you have the pumpkin seeds all spread out on your baking pan, you want to sprinkle a generous amount of salt onto the seeds. Here I'm using about 1 teaspoon of a no sodium salt. And then you're going to place your pumpkin seeds into the preheated oven for about 10 minutes. Now, after about 10 minutes, you're going to take the seeds out of the oven and just gently stir them. You want to kind of move them around and make sure they're starting to all get dried out evenly. And then you're going to put them back in the oven for another maybe 5 minutes. Once the seeds are toasted, take the sheet out of the oven and just kind of mix the seeds around and let them cool ever so slightly on a cooling rack. Now, just as a side note, it's important to watch your seeds closely while they're roasting. At first, it'll seem like they're not cooking at all, but then they will quickly turn golden or brown and can even burn. So you really want to pay close attention while they're roasting in the oven. In my experience, I tend to peek at them about every 3 to 5 minutes, and I turn them and kind of make sure everything is even. And I'll do this about 3 or 4 times. And then once the pumpkin seeds are cool, you can store them in an airtight container for storage. And that is how you roast pumpkin seeds without oil. Very easy, and they taste delicious. They're not greasy, they're nice and crunchy and a little bit salty, and the perfect healthy snack. Pumpkin seeds are loaded with fiber and lots of antioxidants and nutrients like zinc and iron and potassium, magnesium, vitamin K. They're really, really good for you. And they recommend about maybe a quarter cup a day for your health. So I am so glad I got to show you how to roast pumpkin seeds without oil. I hope you'll give it a try. Again, they're very easy to make. And if you want to know more about the health benefits of pumpkin seeds, I wrote a blog post about them. I have the recipes, a full printed recipe on the blog, as well as I go into different seasonings and spices that you can use to kind of mix it up. The traditional way is just using sea salt, or I actually used a no sodium seasoning. But I have on the blog a lot of different spices and seasonings and recipes that you can use to kind of mix up your pumpkin seed repertoire. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, I would love it if you hit that subscribe button and follow me on Upside Lane. It's a wonderful supportive community for caregivers where I provide nourishing recipes, joyful living tips, and support for caregivers everywhere. So until next time, bye for now.